Are live October 29th, 2020. Good gracious, that means we're only like 5 days from the elections of this year. But we're not talking about elections. What we're talking about is chivalry. And all of you that were able to join me, we're going to cover a lot of different aspects of it. I've got my little sidebar over here, so anything y'all want me to address, I will do my best to address. So basically, my weekly digest today that's coming out this evening, um, I talked a little bit about where chivalry originated and some of the aspects of what chivalry entails, which is gentlemanly behavior. And let me tell you, Eleanor of Aquitaine, she lived 1122 to 1204, so she was like 82 years old when she died. She helped craft this whole concept of the gentleman knight. Of course, knights were fighters, leaders, horsemen. She helped to craft the idea of how a gentleman, a man, could become a knight and a gentleman, meaning the old term a knight in shining armor. He might not have been fearless, but he wasn't fearful. He was a man that went out, fought, took care of what he was supposed to take care of in the kingdom. Because in those days, primarily, the men did the fighting, and the women made sure everything was taken care of at home, supplies, family. They kept everything together. So, uh, a lot of the movies and stuff now, they'll show women out there fighting with the men and stuff. That happened. It wasn't common because basically the women were protected because you're not going to have any family. You're not going to have any lineage if the women get taken out. So it's very important to protect them. Okay. So anyway, Eleanor is the one that actually created the idea of chivalry. And so today we have a lot of different opinions about what chivalry is, what it should be. Uh, we run into women's liberals. The term really is, it's a pretty stupid term, but anyway, uh, this came out from a feel uh, that the women felt that they were not being equally paid or treated equally like the men were. Uh, there was some of that. However, it's not as grievous as the TV portrays it and all of the baloney liberals want to say it is. The fact is, women who were running the factories in World War II, mostly women, the men were off fighting. So Rosie the Riveter, the probably some of you have seen that old poster with Rosie the Riveter, and she's got the bandana and her arm up there and showing muscles because she was doing a man's job. That's what jobs that men did. It didn't matter if it's a mechanic, riveting, uh, construction. There were women in all of these professions. That was the way it was in the 40s. Then the 50s came, and a great majority of the women actually wanted to get back to the way things used to be, where they took care of the home, the family, managing all of the various aspects of a home. And it takes a very intelligent person to do that, I have to tell you. The managing of a home it's like being the CEO of a business. You've got a lot of stuff that you got to do. So the rollback or the reaffirmation of women in the 50s was most of them wanted to be back in the home again, which they were. And then in the 60s, um, you had some different things that were going on that took place and caused a lot of unrest. Uh, at that time, there were so many different facets of our civilization in America, anyway, that I believe, since I lived through it, women in some cases got confused in their roles. All right, people that are far left leaning and think, oh, you're speaking against women. No, it's not against women. Everybody has a role in society. A woman can be as good a CEO as a man. A man can be as good a cook as a woman. Because, why did I say that? Because those are traditionally the opposite gender roles. When it comes to thinking skills, intellectual skills, the skills with the hands, the men and women can both excel at those things. When it comes to really great physical strength, men are built that way due to their muscle mass and their size. You can have the same size woman that's done the same exercises as the same size man, and the man has more tensile strength, more go, being able to do it, than the woman. Now, if we're talking about stamina, it's the other way. Women have way more stamina than men. They can go longer. Men are similar to a cheetah. A cheetah can do excessive speeds up to, I think it's 80 miles an hour for a short time, and then they've got to rest. Women can steadily go, go, not at 80 miles an hour, but steady, let's say 50 miles an hour, and be steady for hours and hours. Why is that? Because that's the way God made them. We are created beings. No matter what your particular philosophy is, we are created beings, period. And women have more stamina, men have more strength. That's just the way it is. As far as everything else goes, intellectually, skills, creativity, one is just as apt to come up with something as the other. It's just that has nothing to do with physical strength or stamina. Okay, let me move on. So I I read this and I've got to tell you about this. This is postmodernist society, but I think it's uh, I don't know what you call them. I'm not calling anything bad. You can offer a woman. This was my experience. Men offered, in of course, buses. We long time ago we did use buses a lot. You might offer a lady a seat on the bus, or if you're standing, um, say at a in the airport and there's not enough seats and there's a lady there, and you're sitting down and you're a man, you're going to get up and offer her the seat. Does that mean that the man thinks the woman, oh, she's just so weak, she just has to have the seat? No, it's courtesy. It's showing honor. And that is what chivalry is about. This I found very interesting here. And I'm not going to talk forever tonight. But Suzanne Venker, She's an American nonfiction author, and she's a radio host. And she's also authored several anti-feminist books. I thought this was hilarious. But anyway, she wrote, chivalry is dead because women killed it. Now, what was she talking about? Women wanting to be like men, not women wanting to be like women. You've heard of strong women. I, when I grew up in Roanoke, I was surrounded by strong women. They did what they were supposed to do. They took their jobs. They protected the family. They did everything they could to support their husbands. And if it got down to it, that wife and that husband are going to stand side by side against any enemy coming against their household. That's the way it is. You work together. You're a team. Each team member has their own capabilities and skills. One is not better than the other. The Bible says specifically, and this is why Christianity has always been a big push or uh, advocate for the equality of the two sexes. Eve was made to go alongside of Adam. That's the way it's written. If you don't believe me, look it up in the Bible in Genesis. They were to work together as a team. So, no one taught me chivalry. I just gathered from my surroundings growing up. I was always taught to show respect for girls and women, not just older women, women and girls. So, from the time I was a little kid, I always showed the greatest respect that I knew how to do to girls and women. I still do. I'm as apt to open the door for a 6-year-old girl as I am a 38-year-old woman or a 50-year-old man. Why is that? That's just pure courtesy. And used to, on occasion, I'd have men kind of look at me funny, and I'd say, you know, after you. So it's easier for a man to have, say, a man open a door for him as a sign of respect. I don't know what the deal is with some of these women, but anyway, we won't get into that. All right, let me get on down here. I said I won't go talk long tonight. Okay, here are some things I got from the Gentleman's Journal that I thought were interesting. A gentleman never tells. What do you mean? He doesn't go around spreading gossip and rumors and everything. He just doesn't say anything that would bring a negative aura on to another person, man or woman. A gentleman knows that anything worth having is worth working hard for. Now, let me talk about that for a second. Shortcuts, free rides, those are like those little bitty plastic foil samples of colognes you get. They don't last long. So, a gentleman says you only get what you give, and that's correct. That is the way it works. So, if you want to develop a relationship with your wife, your girlfriend, your fiance, you need to think about what can I do that displays how much I value her. It's not great big things. Oh, I went out and bought a dozen red roses and they're long stem and it was $150. Psh, so that's a big display. But how about, did you open the car door for her when y'all pulled in? Did you carry the heaviest bag of groceries? Did you pick up after yourself when you took that food into the living room and ate in the recliner instead of at the table. you know, little stuff like that. I, I will. I gotta say this: a gentleman does need to know how to dance. Maybe not be great, but should be able to dance. A gentleman helps any woman with heavy baggage. Sometimes it may not seem that heavy to the man, but the woman carrying it may be having some little difficulty. Maybe she's got a toddler in one hand and a baby in the other hand, and under her arm she's carrying, I don't know, a gallon of milk. Well, that's pretty awkward. A gentleman would say, "Can I carry that gallon of milk for you? You know, until you can get situated, whatever." Okay, now this, fellas, I'm hoping I say this right. A gentleman knows the difference between confidence and arrogance. Okay, arrogant. Go to Simon Cowell. When his contestant gets through to the final and he can barely contain his self-satisfied grin, that's arrogance. Confidence. James Bond at his best. Strong, admirable, minus any of the questionable sleaziness. He is just confident that he can get the job done. Also, a gentleman is open minded. If somebody has a difference of opinion, that's good. People should have their own opinion and do what they want to do. And talk about what they want to talk about. A sharp wit might win an argument, but an intelligent gentleman knows the benefit of listening to the other's views. Be prepared to learn something you didn't know. This will help you develop a better worldview. We all are not going to agree, nor should we. If everybody agreed, we would never have advanced, probably past striking stones to start a fire. I don't even know if we would have got that far. We have to learn to listen to others. And this is especially true. I've heard a lot of my lady friends talk about how their husbands just don't listen to them. And I'm thinking, that's odd. Now, why don't they listen to you? My wife has come in at times when I'm doing something, say there's something on TV and I'm interested in it. So what do? I just go click, hit the pause button, and listen to her. Why do I do that? Out of respect for whatever it is that she wants to talk about for her, not the content of her conversation. Many men, and I've watched them do this, will be, say they're watching a sports show, football or whatever, and so and she wants to talk about something just briefly, and they're like, throwing their hand up and get away and shut up, wait till the advertisement, whatever. That's ridiculous. You're gonna put a stupid sports program over top of your wife that you're living with for however many years. Oh boy. Okay. A gentleman constantly proves that chivalry is not dead. So no matter how many times, and I don't think there are many, I think I've only had one time in my entire life that I've had a woman say something about me opening the door for her. And I opened the door and she looked at me like, "I can do that." And I said, "Yes, ma'am, you can." But she walked through that door anyway. So it's amazing to me the little things that for hundreds of years now, about 900 years, men have done to show honor to women. And only in the last 40 have we had, 45 years, have we had this women's lib baloney that they want to be men so bad that they can't accept anything that a man does for them. Oh, that's making me look weak. No, it doesn't. It shows honor. Anytime anyone does something for you that you could do yourself anyway, shows honor. And if they do something for you that you can't do for yourself, you should be grateful. I am, especially as you get older. And as I've gotten older and found I can't do things like I used to do, it's really frustrating. However, all through my life, I've always done for other people. It didn't matter if it was elderly or a woman or a man or somebody that just needed help, or I just did. And now I feel God has blessed me with people that come into my life to do things that I no longer can really do for myself. It's not fun to admit that. It's not enjoyable, but that's life. All right, let's wrap it up here. A gentleman never lies to a woman. Never lies to a woman. So, all these years that my wife and I have been married, we've been married for 46 years and 9 months. Even when we were dating, I never lied to her. I never lied to anyone I dated, nor did I lie to my buddies. Especially some of you want to. They got these big stories they tell, and you're thinking, I know he's lying. I need to come up with a bigger story. No, don't. I don't. And you don't need to. That would just make you downgrade it to his level. So, anyway, don't tell lies. Be impeccable with your word. Always tell the truth. So, that's basically it. Check out my new site. Let's see. Patreon, patreon.com/a step above. It's a new site I've got for people that want to have a different access to me. Also, check out our website, www.astepabove.life, Life. And, commercial time, check out my book. This is my latest one, A Hard-Oiled Mystery by J. Wesley Booth. It's on Amazon, Kindle and Amazon Print. I'm really excited about this. I have had more fun. It took me 2.5 years to do the research and write this thing. That was exciting and it was fun, especially when I learned about all the things that I learned doing that research. And when I read some of the history and found out about the U.S. Senator that wanted to be an American Führer, I could not believe it. He was set up with Hitler, that once Germany won the war, he was going to be the American Führer and take over the president's spot, except he would be the Führer. So anyway, that's it. Enjoy your week. Enjoy your time with your family. And remember, to do, you must learn.